Go to any mandolin workshop and hands down, the most common questions you'll hear are, what strings are you using? What pick do you use? What mandolin are you playing? And while these questions won't necessarily make you a better mandolin player, they are fun to ask. So much so that I thought I'd go around to some of the best mandolin players in the world and ask these very things. So you don't have to be that guy at the next mandolin workshop. I'll be that guy for you. This is another video from my time teaching at the Swannanoa Gathering Music Camp. And first up, we have the amazing Joe K. Walsh to give us his gear rundown. Joe, what do you got there?
This is a 24-year-old Gilchrist mandolin, made by Steve Gilchrist, previously owned by Andrew Marlin. What am I using? I'm just using J74 as the, what I think of as the gold standard for mandolin strings from D'Addario. I've got a tortoise pick that someone gave me. It's pretty thin. I don't know if you can even tell by anything, but it's not a very thick one. And I got this beautiful strap made by Massimo Gatti over in Italy and his partner. Lovely people. And I guess that's about it. I got one of these things on the back, not because it feels nice or looks great, but it sure sounds better.
Chirplet maestro Emory Lester here next with his incredible Haydn mandolin. Check this thing out. Whoa. What are you picking on these days?
All right, well, this is a Michael Haydn Heritage F5. He built this for me and really love it. It's made of red spruce, the really old red spruce that he makes his heritage models out of. So that's really great. A little bit of customizing for me. It's quite an arched fingerboard on it. The Evo gold frets, all the neat inlays and stuff. We all love this stuff, by the way. And if you play mandolin and you say you don't care about this, you're lying. Okay, we all love it too much. It's just really good. And it has a bubbly maple back, which is kind of neat. And and then somebody gave me this nice little armrest with the actual mandolin in it. So I thought that was kind of neat too. And it knows all the tunes. So hopefully I can sit behind it and look good while it makes good sound. So
what strings you got on these days?
It's just EJ74 D'Addario right now. I'm still always trying something new here and there, but these are like tried and true. One thing I'll show you real quick is this pick guard that I designed, which is recessed right down to the top of the mandolin. So if you can see that, it's kind of not at the plane of the fingerboard. And that's for me. My hand needs that little bit of space right there going over there as I play, so it's comfortable for me and also protects the instrument.
And what pick are you using too?
This is a blue chip TAD 60 right now, but in my case is about 40 different picks of every type, make, size, everything. Whenever I see a new one coming out, I have to get one and try it. So I think I've got one of everything. And someone asked me why, and there is no answer. It's just why not would be the answer, right? Just love this stuff, and it's always so much fun to have.
Awesome, man. And I see you have no tone guard on. Is that your usual setup too?
I have a tone guard, but sometimes I take it on, take it off. It's always, sometimes it helps. I liked your video on it, by the way. You analyzed it pretty well.
As you can tell, there were some amazing mandolin instructors at this camp and some amazing mandolins that came along with them. And this next one is hard to top. John Reischman here with what some people say is the best sounding mandolin ever. John, what's your gear rundown these days?
Okay. I use a vintage 1924 Gibson F5 mandolin signed by Lloyd Lohr, serial number 75327. And the strings I put on it are the new D'Addario XS strings, coated strings, which I think are fantastic. I never really felt a need for coated strings, but these sound great and they feel great and they last a really long time. It seems to me they stay in tune better than other strings. Which is the most important thing, being a mandolin player. And then for picks, I use, this is an Apollo Picks, John Reischman signature pick. And I have two different materials I use. This is the one called Peak, P-E-E-K. And the other one, I think, is P-E-I. It's black. I don't have one with me right now, but sometimes I'll use the black one, but this one I tend to use more for mandolas, an octave mandolin, but I've been liking it on the mandolin lately. The strap is a little satchel strap from Australia. Nice. You don't need much for someone who was saying he uses a bootlace in class today, but that's I've had these for a long time, and I think and a tone guard, and that's it.
Awesome.
Yep.
Thanks, John.
You're welcome.
At the camp, I also got to spend some time with the in-house luthiers, Will and Wes Weinman, who are just up the road from me in Hendersonville, North Carolina. They make some incredible mandolins. You might have heard Jared Walker, who plays with Billy Strings, play one of theirs, as well as a bunch of other incredible artists. And I really enjoyed getting to demo some of the incredible F5s that they had on display here.
Tribute. It's an F5T24. It's a pre-prototype. It's going to be a tribute to my March 31st, 1924 Fern Roar. You know, it's just something a little bit different for us to go in kind of a different direction as far as the way it feels and its voice.
Beautiful, man.
Hey, thanks, man.
Whoa, yeah, that's great. That's really nice. And as such trusted luthiers, I thought it'd be fun to ask Wes the same questions here too.
The strings we use, because we want to be just like everybody else, is the EJ74s. Everybody uses them. That gives us the opportunity to see what our mandolins sound like in most people's hands. And picks, I use a Fender Heavy, although I wouldn't recommend it for everyone.
Weinman mandolins, check this out.
Yeah.
Next up, my friendly arch nemesis, Casey Campbell. Your gear rundown, man. What are you playing these days?
I got a rattlesnake here, made by a luthier named Olin Davis. This was built in South Carolina. I think he's in North Carolina now. I've been going through, I went to the music store, the local music store, and bought every pack of mandolin strings. So I'm currently going through them all just as a revisit of some brands or models that I don't normally use. So I think these are like Diodario, the medium heavy set. I think now it's like a kind of a greenish text on the normal Diodario packaging. J75, I would assume. And then picks, depends on the day. This one is a tone slab that I got from Frank Sullivan at IBMA last year, but it depends on the day. Whatever I lose.
Are you pro tone guard or no tone guard?
I am very, big belly here, very pro tone guard. In fact, I was playing some other mandolins this week at camp, and I said, "Do you mind if I take my tone guard off and put it on your mandolin?" Which is a very ridiculous thing to do, but I do like it, and I feel a difference. That's all I'll say. I know it's controversial.
Going from pro tone guard to no tone guard here with this next gear rundown from my former teacher, Matt Flinner.
What's the first part? I can remember like the same
It's like
part.
that. Are you tone guard guy or no tone guard?
No tone guard. I like to feel the mandolin, like to feel it. But probably should get one, yeah. So this is a Gilchrist from 1993. Needs a little work, but that's what I've played in the last 31 years. And the pick is a tone slab that's almost worn out. You can see it's it's becoming more rectangular over time. So I need to get another one.
That's awesome.
What else? Diodario medium J74s. Yeah.
And for you classical mandolin friends out there, check this out from the amazing Katharina Lichtenberg. It's so cool to hear about all these different types of gear that are used in different mandolin scenes. Tell me about this beautiful mandolin that you're playing here.
Ah, yeah, it is a very beautiful mandolin. It's made by Alfred Woll, and it became the first prize. There was a competition for mandolins, and this got the first prize, and then I got it. It's made out of rosewood, and it's just has this beautiful sound. A classical mandolin with a ball back, and double strings like you guys have, right? But just a big, nice, beautiful belly. And
Show me your unique pick here. It's amazing. It's
yeah,
so pretty.
it looks like a tooth from a shark, but it's actually a pick. And you can get those in Germany, and then you have to finish them a little bit and make them sound good. But they're very, they have a pretty, like how do you call this? Like a point, right? And so, yeah, those are I'm playing Tomastic strings. Yeah, I love those because they sound very smooth, but they don't necessarily sound on every instrument. You know, you have to just try out what works for you.
And I love this mat as well. That's so smart. Where do you get one of these?
This one I got at Trakel in Germany, the German company, but you can get them at Walmart. You know, it just has to be some sticky rubberish thing, and especially for a ball bag, without it, it would like, you know, go around. So I'm putting this, and then it's really like supporting, and I don't have to hold it with my hands. I can just be very free playing.
Lovely.
So I love it.
A real treat at the gathering was getting to hang out with the legendary luthier Lynn Dudenbostel, who has made mandolins in the past for Chris Thiele, has repaired tons of those priceless Lloyd Loar mandolins, and just getting to hear some of the stories that he has to tell, amazing.
So every fret I've ever installed except for my very first guitar I've put in with this hammer. And what this is, it's one of those little brass hammers that comes with a little brass handle. And my mother-in-law gave me this. And over time, I just decided it should have a curly maple handle. So this one's well used, but it's a scrap of wood from a mandolin from a mandolin that I built. And so I estimate I've probably over the years put in close to 10,000 frets with this hammer, about 35 years now.
Unbelievable. What do you recommend folks use for strings and picks in your many years of experience with the mandolin?
Well, it depends on the instrument a lot of times, and it helps to try different strings and see what they sound like on your instrument. Some like different gauges, some like Monel, some like phosphor bronze. I'm experimenting around on my guitar right now with different gauges and such to find what's the best. But in general, I use John Pierce strings. I like their guitar strings before I started building mandolins. I don't particularly like any particular set they make that they put together. I like 11, 15, 26, and 40. So they just send me individual packets of strings so I can put together my own sets. But the real good quality strings, basically the same thing as a D'Addario J74, which is an excellent string as well. Pick-wise, gosh, it's the cheapest way to change the sound of your instrument. Just get a handful and try them and dump a handful of them out on the table and go through every one until you find the one that works good for you. In general, I like a blue chip pick. I have a lot of things going for them, but there's a world full of them to try.
Oh man! Speaking of gear, you make these amazing string winders, which I absolutely love. If you get any other string winder out there for guitars or anything like that, they just clack up against the peg tuners. They leave marks on your mandolin. These beautiful string winders, handmade from what is that? It's like
this particular one's white oak. It's usually I use leftover tone wood.
Definitely check them out. Follow Lynn on Facebook to grab you one of these amazing string winders. Spoiler, another Lloyd Loar coming up here with the amazing Alan Bibey. Check this thing out. Alan, what are you playing these days? Tell me about this amazing mandolin.
This is my July 9 23 Loar that I've had for like 27 years now.
Oh my goodness, that's
and
beautiful.
I love it, man.
What are you playing for strings these days?
These are the D'Addario XS set that I really love. So I'm really happy with those.
Yeah, I've been using those a lot too. I really like them a lot. Yeah.
Do you?
They're quite nice.
Oh, cool.
What about your pick?
I've got my signature pick with Apollo picks, Nick Monin. Yeah, so check those out. I patterned that after a tortoiseshell pick of mine. So it's pretty cool.
Check out that amazing monogram tone guard as well, man. Can I show it?
Yeah, I know. Pretty cool.
I love it. And of course, if you see my other videos from my time at the gathering, you know Mike Marshall was teaching there too, and he brought his incredible John Monteleone Mando cello with him. If you want to hear this crazy thing in action, check out the video here in the cards above. But in addition to that, he also brought another Lloyd Loar mandolin. Not only were there these 3 Loars at the camp, but there were also 2 others from students and friends nearby. And we actually got all of those Lloyd Loars together in one room for some sound comparisons and some storytelling, all sorts of fun stuff. And if you want to see that footage, that's coming in a video real soon. So don't forget to subscribe down below. And as for me, you know, I've been doing a lot of gear videos here on the channel recently, and if you've been watching, you know I've been playing this new custom Apitius mandolin that I think looks and sounds amazing. I've been using the D'Addario XS custom medium strings. They're coated, they last forever, they sound great. And then I also have this custom armrest from luthier Dan Voigt. I even play with one of these tone guard contraptions too, even though I'm not exactly sure exactly how much difference it makes. But on the more exciting end of things, I do have this brand new pick that I'm very excited about. It's from Tone Slabs Picks, and over the past few months I've been working with Frank Sullivan and David Walsh over at Tone Slabs to design this thing, and I think it sounds so great and feels amazing. If you want to hear this thing in action, hear more about the backstory of how we created this thing together, check out this video here on screen. I think you'll like it a lot. There's also a playlist where you'll see reviews for the tone guard, armrest, for the mandolin, all sorts of stuff. And I do hope that you will subscribe and like this video. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you're playing. What's your gear rundown? And we can nerd out about this stuff together. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.